Hi, Colby here. This is my problem-solving speech, environmental degradation. All right, here we go. Basically, humans are destroying the planet. Humans' rapid use of fossil fuels is destroying the Earth's atmosphere. If we don't find more alternative energy sources, the Earth will suffer horrible and most likely irreversible effects, right? So that's something we don't want to happen. The planet's natural ecosystems and regenerating biocapacity are being severely degraded, and as a result, this compromises the ability of the planet to sustain life. Um, Water, land, and air are getting increasingly polluted. Water tables are falling, soil erosion is leading to desertification, and species are dying out 1,000 times faster than their natural rate of extinction. Now, the combustion of fossil fuels also releases a large amount of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas which is responsible for global warming. Um, Now, we don't really talk too much about global warming anymore. It's more just about climate change, right? So we're more worried about the overall health of everybody's climate as opposed to the heating of the Earth's surface, which also seems to be a big issue in my opinion. All right. So this basically dates back to around 150,000 years ago when basically humans first discovered fire. So we would basically use the fire to set the vegetation aflame, and through that we would drive out our prey. But we would also clear huge swaths of land, of all vegetation because we had no ability to control the fire, no way to put it out. So it would just continue to burn until it basically just burnt itself out. So humans have been causing deforestation and stuff like that since basically since we've been around, since we've discovered tools and whatnot. Our food is killing us. All right. So the timing of widespread adoption of agriculture across Eurasia coincides with the increase in atmospheric CO2 and methane levels recorded in ice cores. So that basically just means that when we started farming, right, and started producing larger and larger amounts of animals, the CO2 and methane levels in the atmosphere started rising. So this is direct evidence that these massive factory farms are causing um, changes to our atmosphere, right? Um, like this problem is kind of difficult to solve, right? There's so many different questions we have to ask about where the money is coming from and where the resources are coming from. Um, but right now, I think the two things that we can consider to combat climate change are alternative fuels and energies, and just reducing the amount of um, basically factory farms that we have in order to just decrease all the methane levels and whatnot, right? So some solutions, right? So with turbines, thermal power, and solar power, we can power any major city across the world, right? It would take a significant investment, um, which is probably why it hasn't happened yet. But I think it's something that is necessary in order to preserve the planet. All right. All right. So the Earth is very diverse, right? So regardless of where you're at, um, there is some sort of alternative energy that can work for your region. Well, whether it's solar energy, hydroelectric, thermal power, anything. Every region has something that it can use to its advantage. Not every region has access to large amounts of oil like the United States or these first world countries. Um, oops, sorry. I would never even ask the entire world to change their diet, but I I think it would also be increasingly smart to think about maybe having one day out of the week where instead of consuming, large amounts of meat. Instead, we switch to, 1 day of vegetarianism or something like that to help reduce the amount of animals that we produce in factory farms, from week to week or from day to day. Um, all right. So change affects, everybody. Everybody, big and small, old and young. It affects everyone. So right now we're in a space that if we don't do something soon, then we could face catastrophic and irreversible consequences that may affect life on Earth in general, for generations and generations, maybe for the rest of existence, we don't really know. Um, so if we just need to take the steps, um, start setting up things for alternative foods besides, large amounts of meat or things like that. And we need to find ways to power our cities besides oil and coal and things like that. All right. Thank you very much. That's the end.